Should you invest in the stock market in 2023? I'm Nate. I'm the FitFutureMD. Upload every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Pick up the free copy of the nutrition and workout guide in the description below. It's 100% free. I'm currently down 40 pounds. And if you're interested to know how I did that, check out that free guide. I'm the owner of Ensorsale. Ensorsale is family. Together we rise up from humble beginnings to inspire others all over the world with the messages on our t-shirts. Wear your inspiration today and use code FitFutureMD for 20% off. Also, it's Labor Day and it's the last day of the 30% off sale, the automatic 30% off. So, check that out at ensorsale.com if you're interested. All right, so stock market, investing, stock market, real estate, basically so many people are in this mindset that they are like just they're not smart enough to invest, or they didn't do good in school, so that means they can't invest, right? Like they're just going to work, get a paycheck, and then and they'll do that the rest of their life, and that's just as good as they're going to get. Well, I'm here to tell you that anyone can invest in the stock market, right? I'm a prime example of this. I took my $1,200 stimulus check and I put it in the stock market, and the rest is history from there, right? So but the key question you're going to have is, are you willing to spend the time to learn how the stock market works, right? Or to learn, or what kind of investor do you even want to be, right? Like, this is one of the areas that I disagree with Dave Ramsey on, right? Because he believes in growth stock mutual funds and having mutual fund managers manage your money and paying them a fee to do it, right? And just because somebody's had a good track record doesn't mean that this year they're going to, make money with your money, right? Most people don't even beat the S&P 500 by itself, right? So, Vanguard came out with a, funds and ETFs that just track the S&P 500. And most mutual funds never beat that, right? So even if you didn't want to learn anything, right? The only thing you learned is, hey, I need to take 15% of my money and put it in the stock market. And you said, okay, well, I'm going to open a Vanguard account and put it in this S&P 500 and make my 8 to 12% without having to do anything and make it automatic. You could do that, right? But that would still be better than a growth stock mutual fund, in my opinion, right? Because 80% of mutual funds lose money, right? Now, that being said, I personally believe that you should, like, everyone has free time. Like, some people say, oh, I don't have time to do this, I don't have time to do that. There's time. You just have to find it and reprioritize your life. Like, don't be sitting there playing Pokemon instead of learning about the stock market or whatever you're trying to learn, right? Because at the end of the day, some people may make money on Pokemon. You might be good enough to make money on Pokemon, but I would not be good enough to make money on Pokemon. So it doesn't make sense for me to put time into Pokemon other than just pure enjoyment, right? So, but I could take 10 minutes a day and learn how the stock market works, and then actually intelligently invest and beat the mutual fund managers and the S&P 500, no problem, right? And that's basically the key point of this video is, what are you using your free time to do, right? And say you work 8 hours, like I say, I believe that you buy back your time, right? So I work 3 minutes away from my job, 3 to 5 minutes away, right? So I'm not spending 40 minutes on the road or an hour back and forth to go to work, right? So that 8-hour shift becomes 10 hours, plus then your the mental capacity that it takes away. But there are some people that do learn from podcasts, listen to podcasts while they drive, right? So you have to choose. So if you can't buy close enough to your work, but you still have the hour drive, you can still learn on that hour drive, right? It's all about what you choose to do with that time. But I do believe in buying back the time and not having the drive, right? Because obviously sitting and actually concentrating and listening while you're driving is not the same thing as sitting and listening in front of your computer for 40 minutes and then getting in the car and going 5 minutes instead of driving 40 minutes, right? But you can still learn that way. It's just not as easy. All right, so I do believe in buying back your time. But the question is absolutely you can learn how to invest in the stock market, right? As any normal person. It's one of the easiest ways to create wealth on the planet. You don't have to have good credit. If you have a job and extra income, you can invest in the stock market, especially now with all these apps. Like I personally use Thinkorswim by TD Ameritrade, but a lot of people find that to be confusing. It's not as easy to read as some of the other apps like Robinhood or Public or I forgot what the other one was that I tried before. But let's say I choose to use TD Ameritrade because they have actual customer service representatives, right? So I'm not talking to a bot. I'm not waiting 2 weeks on a response. Like you call the number, there's somebody there picking up the phone, right? And Charles Schwab, I think, just bought them up. So you're actually with a bigger brokerage now with TD Ameritrade too. So, but I don't get anything. There's no sponsorship with that. Like that's just, the one that I actually use, right? And, there's no fees to trade, but you do get fees if like your stocks, if they, split or reverse split or rearrange or whatever, stuff like that. There are some fees involved, right? But that's part of the education process, right? You have to learn, what's a fee and what's worth it and what's not, right? So it might not, so for instance, say you had 100 shares of AMC and then all of a sudden they're going to do a reverse split and those 100 shares are going to become 10 and they're going to charge you $38 to do that. It may not be worth to hold on to that stock until after it actually combines, right? And you go buy it back. Because you're basically just losing $38 on your 100 stocks, like immediately, right? Or you may be up so much on that stock that the taxes you would have to pay by selling it, would not be worth it, right? So all these things are just things to keep in mind as you're learning, right? It's one thing to learn about the companies. What does this company do? How do they make money? What is their position in the market, right? So like everyone, and their mother invests in Apple, right? Well, I think Apple is overrated, right? I think that a product could come along just like they did to BlackBerry and destroy Apple. So I personally don't invest in Apple, right? I don't think the dividend is high enough to justify the price, right? So, that's something to keep in mind, is that you're going to have differences in how other people think, right? So that's a good thing about TD Ameritrade, is that, they give you the evaluation basically for free on most stocks, right? That they have an evaluation on. And you can go and you can read it and you can verify it yourself, like what the price to earnings is, that's called PE ratio. All that kind of stuff is there for you already, right? It makes it easier. Now, you should still go back and verify, right? And it also depends on what strategy you choose to use, right? You could use Warren's strategy where you buy a good company at a undervalued price, right? So for instance, in the recent banking crisis, right, there were some big banks up there that were down 20 and 30% because other banks were crashing, right? But they're good banks. So what did I do? I chose to buy some of those banks and get those increases in the market, right? So it's just something to keep in mind. But the whole point of the video is that anybody can learn to invest in the stock market. You don't have to have good credit, right? You can sit and use your free time to learn. And that's how it is. I'm Nate. I'm the FitFutureMD. Shop at Ensorsale.com. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.